Hello and welcome to Yoga with Pat. Today we're going to be working through a personal flow of mine, a personal Yin Yoga flow of mine that I like to do whenever I'm experiencing cramps or lower back discomfort during menstruation. So if that makes you uncomfortable, there will be some talk, not a whole lot, but if that makes you uncomfortable, just feel free to check out another video, another one of my videos, or some other yoga video. We know there's plenty of them out there. And if you like this content and if you like my channel and what I'm up to here, please be sure to like and subscribe to my channel and hit the little bell notification to get notified when I put out another video. Okay, so let's get right to it. If you are experiencing lower back pain like I do when I'm having cramping, then you're going to want to get a stack of pillows or a bolster or even a stack of blankets. Even couch cushions work really well as a bolster replacement. Here we have Elvira helping me today. So take that bolster, set it in front of you. You don't even have to have a yoga mat, but set the bolster in front of you, and then take your knees wide apart and big toes together. Bring the bolster quite close, and then we're just going to go into a supported child's pose. So just slowly coming over the pillow, allowing some relaxing flexion in the lower back. And just allow yourself to melt into the bolster. And just allow yourself to begin a soothing ocean breath. Allowing the inhales to move not only through the belly, but to expand the lower back. Once you get comfortable, see if you can add a count to the breath. Maybe starting on the inhales with a count of 4. The exhales, a count of 4. And then as you get more comfortable, I invite you to add a pause in between the exhales, or the inhales and the exhales. And so inhaling to a count of 4, pausing for a count of 4, exhaling to the count of 4, and then again pausing for a count of 4. Go through this cycle 3 more times. Allowing the lower back to release, the body to settle. And then when you're through with the cycle, in just a moment, slowly begin to roll up to seated. So maybe bringing your hands to the mat and slowly rolling up vertebrae by vertebrae. Ah. And then that brings us to the next pose. So from here, we'll come to the side of the right hip. And then take the right leg out so that it's parallel with the front of your mat, if that's comfortable. And then take the left leg out so that the front thigh is somewhat parallel with the front of the mat. Turn the bolster around so that the long side is against the thigh. If you have a block or a stack of pillows, you can take the block and just leave a little space for your shoulder here. So maybe the block at that setting to begin with, to see how that feels. So again, snuggling up to the bolster, calm down, side of the body on the pillow, maybe adjusting the block as needed so that your head can rest on the block. Just allowing your body to settle into the pose, and then maybe add a little stretch for the side of the body, bringing the arm overhead and allowing it to rest over your head. And so this is meant stretch through the ribs, maybe a little bit in the psoas, and the hip flexors. And so here it might not feel like much to begin with, but this side lying banana here tends to be, for me, is a pose that gets deeper with time. So just allow your body to settle here. Again, maybe bringing the box, breathing into the pose. This time, sending the breath to the ribs, expanding through the ribs to deepen that stretch. And then pausing. Exhales, allowing the ribs to sink and the body to settle deeper into the support. If at any point the arm is uncomfortable overhead, you can always bring it behind or onto the side or over the belly. We don't want to experience any pinching or tingling in the arm or the shoulder. So just pay attention. Allow yourself to adjust, either to move into an area where you can feel more sensation in the targeted area, or to move away from sensation that might feel too strong, that might be moving into pain. Always appropriate to adjust. From here, bringing your hand in front, we can slowly begin to push ourselves up. And here we're set up perfectly for deer pose. So here, if you're a little bit off to one hip like I am, it could help to level your hips if you just pull in one foot so that the angle isn't so 40 or 90 degrees here and more of a 45-degree angle. And do the same thing with the back foot, and that might allow you to settle more onto the hips. And then from here, we'll just fold forward, and slowly and gently folding forward to where you feel a sensation. And so again, as you fold forward, allow yourself to first meet your first edge of the pose, not over the edge, not an extreme edge, but just a place where you start to feel something, and then allow your body to settle, and settling with the breath. Here, as we settle into the pose, you may start to bring your attention inward as the pose becomes more comfortable for you. Maybe the body begins to ask you to come more forward, maybe onto the forearms, going only as far as is appropriate for your body. Another thing that you can do to make the pose more comfortable is bring the bolster in front and then lean with the forearms on the bolster or a block. Our target area here is the outer hip of the right leg. Maybe some sensation going into the left leg on the inside of the leg. And just notice where you feel this. And take 3 deep breaths here. And it's following the wave of the inhales and the exhales. Maybe bringing your attention to how the sensations in the outer hip change with time. And slowly begin to come up, and we'll move to the other side. So bringing the soles of the feet to the mat first, and just hug the knees in to reset, and just observing any rebound sensations left over from the previous pose. Just noticing. And then can bring the bolster to the other side. So this time the left side, bringing the outside of the left thigh up to the bolster, and then swinging the right leg around. Again, making 2 L's with the legs here, if that feels appropriate for your body. Bringing the block to the other side, and then again allowing yourself to drape over the bolster or stack of blankets, and then adjusting the block height for your head to rest on. It could also be a stack of pillows or another stack of blankets. Really, I find that blankets are a great replacement for most of the props in Yin Yoga. So if you have enough blankets, you can make all the props you need. And as you settle, maybe bringing that hand, that top arm over the head. If it's okay for your shoulder, allowing the arm to drape over your head. Just finding your settling here. Allowing the body to open on its own time. And then maybe directing the breath, the inhales, to the ribs. Expanding through the left side, the left ribs, or the right ribs, whatever ribs are on top. The right ribs. And seeing how the stress travels, the stretch travels maybe through the armpit. Maybe it goes all the way down the ribs to the top of the upper hip. And following the line of tension with your breath. And observing, without judgment, maybe how time changes the pose. And also maybe observing how your body changes, maybe how any sensations happening in the abdomen, maybe in the tops of the thighs, how that changes with time as you settle into the poses. And so from here we'll bring our hands to the bolster to help us push up slowly. And then noticing any residual sensations here that might be lingering. And if it's okay for your body, you can keep your legs here, the two 90-degree angles in the deer pose, or if it's more comfortable for you, bringing the legs in a little closer, maybe closing the knee gap a little bit more, so there's a little bit more settling on both hips. And then from here, taking a little inhale to lengthen through the spine, and then exhale, walking the fingers forward and finding your first forward fold. And just allow your body to settle here, noticing the first line of sensations, maybe allowing the hips to settle in here before moving further. And if you like, taking the bolster or your stack of blankets or pillows along for the ride and using them to help you come forward and relax into the pose. Trying to let go of any effort. And then again, maybe employing here your box breathing, ocean breath, or natural breath. Bringing the breath deep into the belly, expanding through the belly and the lower back. Exhaling, allowing the body to come forward. Maybe allowing the head to relax if that's okay for your neck. Notice on the inhales how it almost seems like the kidneys, the kidney area, moves apart from each other, expands, and then contracts on the exhale. And see if you can bring your attention there, following the waves of the inhales and exhales. And completely letting your awareness be enveloped by the pulse of the breath. Begin to bring awareness back to the elbows, maybe the hands. Notice the surface that they're resting on. And maybe bringing some movement and pushing up slowly. And here, settling for a moment, just observing how you feel now. And then when you're ready, when all the complications, the feelings, the movement of energy has calmed, we can bring the knees back together, come to the soles of the feet. Hug the knees in. If you like, you can do a windshield wiper. That is not my preference at this time of the month. Do anything you need to do to become settled after the pose. And then we can bring the legs into a square, which is just a gentler version of a double pigeon or fire logs pose. So the heels are in line with the knees. So we're bringing, instead of being in Sukhasana like this where the legs are crossed, we're bringing the heels in so our legs look like a square. And then once you're set up there, just take an inhale. We won't be here for long. I'm here. Take an inhale to rock forward on the sit bones and exhale to fold until you reach your edge of sensation. Our target area here is the outer hips. We don't want to feel anything in the knees. There's no yoga for the knees, no benefit in feeling any discomfort in your knees. So be aware that if any sensation comes to the knees here, that you want to come up from the pose. And just back off a little. The hips benefit from a little bit of time held, so just allow yourself to slowly move forward and then stop where you feel something. As that sensation moves and the body can move. Again, we won't be here for too long. And take 2 more breaths. And slowly walk the hands up. And we'll switch sides. So right leg behind left leg, or whichever leg you did first. And then we'll inhale to rock forward, exhale to settle into the fold. And again, just allowing yourself to be here. Allowing yourself to feel what you feel without judgment or criticism. No being like, oh, I'm so tight. No, we're not here to come to conclusions about ourselves. We're just here to use the postures to feel something in our bodies, to maybe ease discomfort in our bodies. So as long as you feel something here, you're doing it right. Now, we'll slowly walk up, hands up from this pose. Maybe here, hugging in the knees. Maybe going in for a little reverse tabletop, so hands behind the back, pushing the hips up towards the ceiling. Ooh, maybe not hitting a plant pot with your head, and then lowering the hips down. Okay, so now hopefully any discomfort in the lower back has subsided or at least been eased. I'm going to go into a little back bend for our series today to undo some of the forward folding, a whole lot of flexion in the spine. So now we want to open the heart a bit. So here you can take the bolster, again long ways, have it behind you, legs are outstretched. We've had the knees bent for a really long time, so maybe giving those legs a nice massage. Maybe circling the ankles. And then we're going to go into a supported fish posture. So bringing the bolster behind the back here. Allow your back to drape over the bolster. So we're going into a back bend here. We want the shoulders to be supported. Maybe turning, allowing the back of the head to be supported by the block. So slight tuck to the chin, back of the neck is supported, or the head is supported by the block. The shoulders draping over the bolster, maybe the hands opening towards the ceiling, or if it's okay for your shoulders, bringing the arms overhead and then bending the arms, allowing each hand to hold on to each shoulder. And there, just breathing, allowing the breath to carry itself through the ribs. Allowing the belly to settle and let go of any holding. And belly falls in towards the spine. The ribs expand on the inhales. And the exhales. Here, notice how your shoulders feel if the arms are overhead. Just because you made the choice doesn't mean you have to stay with it. So if you feel any tingling or Any sensations of numbness, feel free to bring the arms back around. Maybe resting the hands on the belly, or letting the hands fall out to the sides. Whatever feels okay for your body. Never staying in a posture past the point of pain. It's always okay to come out of a posture early. If the sensations move past a dull discomfort and into pain, it's always okay to come out. Okay. And now from here, maybe bending the knees in, soles of the feet on the mat. And then I'd like to come out of this just by rolling my whole body to the side. Coming up on the hands to a tabletop. So here we're going to sit back in Virasana for a moment, allowing the spine in a neutral position to settle. And we can talk about our next pose. It's always nice to do a twist after forward folds and back bends. So we'll bring the bolster in front of us and then turn away from the bolster and then rock onto one side or onto the side that is against the bolster. Rock onto that hip. And then from here, we'll turn the body forward to face the bolster. And walking the hands towards the bolster, we'll just lay on top. Maybe the face here is facing the knees as to not crank the neck. Allowing yourself to just be here. Just following the inhales and the exhales. Too long. We'll begin to come up so we can twist on the other side. So feel free to just come to tabletop here and switch hips. Again, framing the bolster with your hands and then walking the front of the body onto the bolster. Down, head to face the knees. Flow of the inhales and the exhales. Noticing the rise and fall of the upper back. Lungs expanding and contracting. Take 3 more breaths here. choose to settle into Shavasana, or you may choose to do a seated meditation. During this time, for me, I prefer to stay upright. I don't like to lay flat on my back during the day. I feel like it contributes to cramps, like obstructs the flow. So I like to work with gravity here. So seated meditation is appropriate for me. But if you were doing that, doing this flow for just some lower back discomfort, feel free to lay back and maybe place the bolster under your knees or a stack of blankets so that your lower back is settled closer to the mat. And then, or if you're in seated meditation, maybe the hands are on the knees, the palms facing up or down. And allow yourself to just stay here. Maybe pressing pause to the video. If you liked this video, if you got something of value out of it, please hit the like button, leave me a comment, subscribe to my channel. That all helps with the algorithm and helps support me in what I can offer. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this helped.